Hello and welcome to round one with Black Red Hollow 1. I think this hand is fine. I guess we'll see what happens. If we get discard spelled on one, it's pretty bad. But I think Burning Inquiry gives us like basically a free mulligan here. And we'll see whether it's correct to Flame Blade on one or not. I'm kind of interested to see what happens. Oh no. This is going to end badly for us. Whoa. Okay, that's good. So they Street Wraith twice and played a land. Let me think through this. I'm debating, so it's likely my opponent is some kind of shadow. Their sequencing kind of implies that they have a stubborn denial. So I think I want to slow roll my Burning Inquiry for a turn, which means that I want a Flame Blade on one. I don't think there's a big reason to fetch. If I did, I would use the Wooded Foothills, so I have the black-red for later. I'm pretty sure if you have a Thoughtseize, you're just supposed to like fire it off on one there, so I'm pretty sure they don't have something like that. They could have like Fatal Push, but that's not the worst. I mean, they could just have like a really fast, huge Death Shadow. Yeah, that looks like it's... Oh, Tarfire, so they're Jund Shadow. Okay, well... Can't win them all on that front. Worth noting, next turn we're actually going to Inquiry before we play our land, so that we minimize the risk of discarding a hollow one. At least that is assuming I get to, you know, not get discarded. Okay, that's fine. Sure, that's fine. Let's Inquiry. Ooh. Oh, well. Let's not do that. So... I think I want to cycle Street Wraith. Okay, so I want to cast Hollow One. And then beyond that... Looting might just be the right play, I think. So I'm going to get the Flame Wake off of it next turn. I save a little mana to do that. So I probably want to go Flame Wake. And I don't care about Stomping Ground, because I'm not going to Edge of Autumn anytime this game. No, I don't want to. Yeah, I go to 12. Yeah, that's not great for me. So I guess this is right. I don't think... Trying to debate if Cathartic Reunion's even what I want to do this turn. I think I have to do it, because I don't think my hand as is gets me anywhere. Maybe I was supposed to not play the land. No, I need an untapped land this turn to really do anything. And I definitely want the Flame Wake off of this, so I need the mana. Okay, this worked out okay. Because we have them dead if they don't have a way to kill Hollow One. Though realistically, I'm just expecting to get Battle Raged here. If they Liliana us and minus... We don't... yeah, we sack the Phoenix, we block, and then if we draw an untapped land, we get the Angler, Phoenix, Bolt. Oh, well, no, I just die horribly to Kolaghan's command. Okay, then. That's not good for me. So, I'm not huge on ley lining. I really, I struggle to think that Fiery Temper is really what I want. I think I just want every way to kill anything that's kind of large, even though Goyf is going to get potentially out of hand. Think Call to the Netherworld's interesting. I think I'm just going to do this. I don't want Grudge. I don't care about ley lines or brutalities or thought seizes. Yeah. I don't think I'm supposed to play around drawing one of my 2 Fiery Tempers there and discarding it. With the land, I think I'd rather just like potentially make another hollow one. And then I need the land for the Phoenix. Yeah, I don't know. I think getting the Phoenix in was like super important because it's going to be worth more damage than the Fiery Temper and 2 attacks. And I don't think there's any game I'm going to win where I don't get 2 attacks. And I think that playing around the Stubborn Owl one is reasonable, not knowing whether my opponent is blue-black or black-red. And they're going to fire off the Street Race on their main phase, regardless of which one they are. Because if they like find a discard spell, they're going to fire that for sure. I would like to play first. This looks okay. I find it hard to believe that, like, if this mix of cards is not good, that my deck is any good, for lack of a better way to put it. This hand's vulnerable to a discard spell, but, like, you can never, like, there's just not a deck in the existence of Magic right now where you can, like, mulligan and be like, oh, my hand's going to get better against a discard spell if it's going to lose to a discard spell in the first place. I guess, like, maybe very specific, like Eldrazi Tron or Tron hands where it's like, oh, well, the card I need to have is just a land that they can't take with Thoughtseize, but it's not like this deck's best cards are lands. So this is probably going to go, ooh, that's cute. Okay. 3. I don't think this land is actually useful, so I'm going to cycle and see where I get. That's unfortunate. Part of the reason that land's not that useful is that the only card I can draw that like makes that second red source useful is another Cathartic. There's only 2 left in the deck, whereas like drawing something to go off that turn is so huge because I can get out underneath like blockers in some way. 8. So they're gonna play a huge Death Shadow. 6. So 7/7. Okay, so So there's 6, 3, 10, double strike. Yeah, I don't think I like. So attacking versus not attacking. I think I want to attack, but it's not guaranteed. But this basically only lets them have like a Shock Land or a Street Wraith. They've already used 2 Street Wraiths. Yeah, that's fine. The Shock Land, sorry. What I'm trying to calculate is putting myself into Temur Battle Rage range, which they would need to go to 3 life to do. In order to do that, if I put them to 5, they could have a Shockland or a Street Wraith, which they didn't have before. But a Fetch Land is going to put them to 10 anyways. And I don't think there's a reasonable scenario where I'm going to kill them where I actually play around that card. So I'm just going to ignore it. Yeah. They also probably don't... they might have kept a Street Wraith if they're just going to cast the Shadow. Leave up Tarfire. They already had action that was worth using. Okay, so they don't have a Battle Rage or I would be dead. And conveniently 13 is not a life total they can deal. I could die to another Tarfire, but I don't think there's any scenario where another Tarfire is not just going to kill me. It gets kind of interesting here if I draw a fetch land. Like a black fetch land. Yeah, there's just another Death Shadow. This no longer is interesting. Okay. So my game plan has to be to create another way to do something. That doesn't do it. So we're stuck in chump block mode on this Flameblade Adept. I don't know what my way out of this is. I could like Inquiry. Okay, so I could Inquiry, draw like perfects. So they're going to give me Blood Gas probably. And they'll probably just put the Phoenix in the graveyard. Blood Gas could in theory do damage. They might just be pushing my Flameblade and then I'm just dead. Which would be not great. Yeah. Ooh, look at my 2/2. I guess Thoughtseize is another way to deal 2 damage to themselves that I didn't count with the Battle Rage, but like I said, I find it hard to believe there's a scenario where I sufficiently get through a Battle Rage plus a way to kill. Yeah, that's not good. This is like the one scenario where EE is good. It's like specifically when my opponent has a million Death Shadows, and not like any of their other creatures, and I'm not gonna sideboard around beating that like one specific config. That's just not how you win. Well, that wasn't a great showing, just like dying to discard spells there and large Tarmogoyf. I do think the fact that that list has like only creatures that outside the Gurmag Angler is pretty problematic for this list. My draws also weren't like the most aggressive, so I'm willing to believe that Jund Dash Shadow is a bad matchup though.